here for yet another episode. And before I kick this video off by showing y'all my top 5 favorite winter bass fishing baits, I want to give a huge shout out to my buddies over at Bass in the Ozarks. We've recently become friends, and we've started to talk a little bit, and hopefully next year we will have some pretty cool stuff coming. Over Christmas break, we should all be getting together and making some really cool videos. And yeah, so let's get on to bait number 1. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off with early winter baits, or kind of baits that when the water is just starting to get cold, and then I'm going to move all the way through like December time frame, like when the water is like kind of at its coldest, and then I will end with kind of January, February time frame, kind of like end winter. So my first bait of choice would be the Strike King Red Eye Shad. This color is in chrome, right there, and this is actually not my typical favorite color. My favorite one is the Red Eye Shad in kind of like red crawfish color. But this is another really good one. These things last they last a long time, and I really like them. They don't come with like the best hooks, but they're good enough. I don't change out my treble hooks too much. I catch a lot of fish on them. So that is bait number 1. And moving on to bait number 2. A lot of guys don't throw this, and so I kind of put this as, if y'all are fishing down in the south, is a chatterbait. And this isn't probably like the best color for this time frame, because you can throw lots of chatterbaits kind of in a shad pattern, because that's when there's lots of shad. But bluegill ones will work fine. They still catch lots of fish. But if you're down in the south, you can still throw chatterbaits through the winter. Or if you're up north, I would probably choose a couple of jerkbaits. Right there, this is a monster bass jerkbait from LTB, and this is a Livingston jerkbait from LTB. So both of these are in pretty good colors. The thing with jerkbaits is you want to fish them when the water is clear. You don't want to fish them when it's super muddy or anything. As you can see, this one comes with 2 hooks, this one comes with 3. Yeah, you can really, another thing that you can do to kind of customize them is put maybe a couple red treble hooks on there, just like that, and it kind of looks like the bait fish is bleeding a little bit. And then we'll get on to bait number 3, and my choice is the wobble head. Excite Baits half-ounce wobble head right there with a little creature bait on there. That is the Zoom Ultra 5 Speed Crawl right there. Yeah, you just throw this out. The reason why I like this is you can fish this in deeper water, and you can also fish it in kind of mid-depth, shallow water, if you will. But they're really good baits, very similar to the next 2 baits that I'm going to go through. But really during the winter, I throw a lot of bottom baits, because normally the fish are at the bottom because they don't want to move too much, and they just let the bait fish or whatever die down, and it will come down and fall to the bottom, and bass feed on that. So that's another one of my favorite baits. Alright guys, so the 4th bait is the old shaky head. Right there, this is actually one of my favorite confidence baits right here. Since I've showed you all several lures with creature baits on there, I decided to put a little finesse worm on the back of here on this shaky head, and this is actually just a Berkeley finesse worm right there. But But this is a spot remover shaky head right here. I think it's probably 3/16 ounce or 1/4 ounce. But this is my favorite shaky head by far. They're a little expensive, but as long as you don't lose too many of them, they are super worth it. And the reason why I like this particular shaky head is that right there it has that little nail thing, just right there. So right there it has that little screw thing, and it allows you to, it's so much easier to put your worm on. So all you do is you just slide it on there, just like that. There we go. Just like that, and it stays on there good, and you don't have to worry about screwing it or anything. And so that's really why I like that. And another reason is it has a flat head, so it just sits right like that, and then the worm just dangles up there like that. So that's that. And then the last two baits. Huge shout out to legendarybaits.com. There's a link to their website down below. Actually, that's my website. But if you haven't already, go check out my website. I think it's pretty good. But is a legendary baits finesse jig. They haven't, we haven't come out with these yet. We will be coming out with them probably next year, the very beginning of next year. And then this is the one that I normally throw all the time, that I have rigged up on my jig rod. It's the green pumpkin or natural baller jig with a little creature bait on the back of that. But this is just a normal jig. Throw it out, let it sink to the bottom, hop it back. Really easy to fish, and they're not too expensive either. You can get them on my website for about $3.49, which for this kind of jig, and they are fully customizable. And we might actually be coming out with a jig where you can decide every color. You can pick what strand you want to have on there, and you buy that jig. It might be a little bit more expensive, but you'll get a jig that you made pretty much. But I'm the one who put all the things together. But anyways, that would be for a different video. So that's just a normal jig right there. And then if the bass are being super finicky, I'll go with this a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner presentation, the old football, or the old finesse jig, which that means there just isn't much of a top skirt on that one, just right there. And then it also has a creature bait. So, alright guys, so if y'all wanted to know the kind of rods and reels and line and all that kind of stuff, I want to tell you all that really fast, because I forgot to mention that. But for the lipless crankbait, would be my Denali 7.6 medium heavy. Launches this thing a freaking far. Yeah, so that's that. Reel is just a normal 6/4-to-1 casting reel, and maybe like 15-pound line, or I normally use like 50-pound braid. For the chatterbait right here, I'd use that same rod, or a 7.3 medium heavy, and maybe just like a normal 6/4-to-1 gear ratio reel, or like a faster reel than that, something like that. And then for the jerkbait, I would use like a 6.9 medium, so it's a lot shorter, and you can jerk it, like if you're bank fishing, you can jerk it a lot easier without hitting the ground. And then like I would use like 12 to 10 even, maybe pound fluorocarbon. And then for the wobble head, I would use a 7.1 medium heavy with probably 15 to 20 pound fluorocarbon, with just like a normal 8:1-to-1 gear ratio like I've got, or 7:1-to-1. And then for the shaky head, I'd use the exact same combo, 7.1 medium heavy, 15-pound line, 6/4-to-1 or 7:1-to-1 gear ratio. And then for the jigs, I would use the same rod again, 7.1 medium heavy, And all those rods and reels are linked down in the description. You need to say something? But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And make sure to hit that little subscribe button. Also, go follow Bassin, the Ozarks TV. I will leave their channel link down in the description as well, where you can go subscribe to them. We'll be doing some pretty cool stuff here in the near future. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode of LNB Nation. Peace, guys.